I have exciting news, friends. Lawmakers have just made a really big announcement. This news will affect millions of Americans, including low-income households, SSI, SSDI, and RRB recipients. Bonus SNAP benefits have just been approved and passed by our lawmakers. Also, there is a new updated list for what states will be providing their residents with additional inflation relief payments this month. There are many details to cover today, so please make sure you watch until the end of this video. I know right now is a very difficult time for millions of Americans, especially with the rising cost of living across the United States. So in this evening's video, I'll be providing you with the latest news. I will also be giving away a $75 Walmart gift card 4 days a week. If you would like to enter the giveaway, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, the more likely your chance of winning the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway.
Look, the law makes the biggest investment ever. We invest in climate crisis. $369 billion to deal with the climate crisis. And it makes the tax code fairer. In 2020, 55 of the biggest corporations in the country paid $0 in federal income taxes. And they made $40 billion. It's not right. So we put a stop to it. And by enacting a corporate minimum tax at only 15%. Today, the days of big profitable corporations paying nothing in federal income tax is over. And guess what? Every single Republican voted against the Inflation Reduction Act. And when it actually comes to actually doing something about inflation, Republicans said no. And they said time and again that the first chance they get, they're going to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. And here's what else Republicans are, in terms of their fiscal recklessness. Donald Trump and Republicans had no problem enacting in his 4 years a $2 trillion tax cut that overwhelmingly benefited the top 1%. And they didn't pay for a penny of it. And it massively increased the federal deficit. Meanwhile, you know, we always say the Democrats are the big spenders. We brought down the deficit. $350 billion the first year and nearly $1.5 trillion this year. And the Inflation Reduction Act is going to reduce it another $300 billion because over the next 10 years, because Medicare can pay less for the drugs they have to buy for the seniors. So I don't want to hear from Republicans. They're the ones who blew up the deficit. They're the ones, when we're the ones bringing it down. And now, thanks to the historic deficit reduction act, we can afford to cancel $10,000 in student debt and $20,000 if you're on a Pell Grant. For tens of millions of Americans making under $125,000, it's a game changer. And Republicans are already looking for their hand-picked judges to deny relief to those hard-working Americans. They will not succeed, in my view, but that's what they're looking for.
The State Department of Human Services has announced that the income threshold for eligibility for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program will increase beginning October 1st. This means that Pennsylvanians making up to 200% of the federal poverty line will now be eligible to receive benefits from this program. So for a family of 4, that shakes out to a maximum of $4,626 a month. For a single person, it is $2,266 or less. Jane Clements, CEO of Feeding Pennsylvania, said in a press release this week, "We are grateful to the governor's administration for recognizing the need to expand access to SNAP for families who were just outside of the eligibility threshold, yet still in desperate need of support to make ends meet." The increase comes amid surging poverty in the Pittsburgh region and food banks that are seeing soaring demand. Census data from 2021 has shown poverty in the city has grown by 5%, and some emergency food programs are now seeing 7 times the number of families as seen in years past. According to the state, 1.88 million Pennsylvanians currently receive SNAP benefits. More than 650,000 are children. Over 485,000 have disabilities, and 350,000 are older adults. Prior guidelines limited eligibility to individuals making up to 160%. On average, newly enrolled individuals receive $63 of assistance per month. This summer, thousands of Arizonans also reached out to the state for help with their groceries. Food stamp payouts have dropped 35% on average this summer in the state of Arizona. Unlike 22 other states, Arizona did not accept crisis emergency funds in April, and the decrease comes as applicants are soaring. State data reveals 811,000 residents of Arizona collected SNAP benefits in January. Now, it's grown more than 100,000. 913 people collected SNAP benefits in August. There has been an increase of 52,000 individuals in the last 2 months alone. Governor Kathy Hochul also announced that all New Yorkers enrolled in the SNAP program will receive the maximum allowable level of food benefits for September. All households participating in SNAP, including those already at the maximum level of benefits, will receive a supplemental allotment this month, resulting in a roughly $234 million infusion of federal funding into the New York State economy. The Emergency Assistance Supplement will be provided to all households. Households already near or at the maximum benefit level, which is $835 for a household of 4, will receive a supplemental payment of at least $95. Dear friends, the keyword for this video is Minnesota River. If you would like to enter today's Walmart gift card giveaway, do make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below this keyword, which is Minnesota River, and additional keywords of any video of mine that you watch. Remember, friends, the more videos that you comment on, the more likely your chances of winning these giveaways. In its efforts to bring down historic inflation and cool our economy, the Federal Reserve has used multiple descriptions to describe the potential impact on Americans' jobs, from economic pain to unfortunate costs and a softening labor market. The Fed's latest economic projections, released alongside a massive third consecutive interest rate hike of 75 basis points, shows that the central bank is expecting the nation's unemployment rate to grow to 4.4% next year. Assuming no change in the labor force, that would be 2.2 million more unemployed. Through the first 8 months of this year, the United States has seen an average net gain of 438,000 jobs per month. In August, 315,000 jobs were added. But prior to the crisis, the U.S. averaged fewer than 200,000 jobs per month. While portions of the demand side of the economy have shown some slowing in response to the Fed's moves, the labor market has remained an outlier. Joblessness remains near historically low levels. Job openings are double that of folks looking for work, and labor force participation remains below pre-crisis levels. This is the end of my daily stimulus update video. Thank you for joining me here every day when I post a video. I greatly appreciate all of you for doing so. Please check back because I'll be announcing a winner for the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway in a video later today. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and blessed weekend.
Of the Democrats in the House and the Senate, where the Democrats are in charge of each of those chambers. They have spent a great deal of time blaming everyone but themselves for the historic levels of inflation that have ruined the economy and made the American people very nervous about what 2 more years of this Build Back Broke agenda would mean for them. I've said before that Tennesseans feel like they have no idea who is in control in this country, over in the White House, or indeed if anyone over at the White House is in control in this country. And if you look at all the various characters featured in Biden's inflation blame game, you might be tempted to think that Biden himself is wondering the very same thing. Who is in control? Who is calling the shots? But the truth is, Madam President, that no one in the White House is confused or shocked by how bad things have gotten. They know exactly how we got here because they did it, because every step they took along the way was a deliberate attempt to reject common sense and manipulate the people into accepting a radical economic agenda. Well, in July of last year, President Biden insisted that inflation was transitory and that if we could just bring on a little bit more time and a little bit more effort and hang in there a little bit longer, you know what, everything was going to be just fine. He didn't want the people to panic and start questioning the narrative that the White House was pushing forward every single day. Surprising no one, that argument didn't fly. The people weren't buying it. So in October, suddenly, not only was inflation a problem, but guess what? It was former President Trump's fault. That's right. Not this administration's fault, not the Democrats, not President Biden. It was President Trump's fault. Well, the American people, they weren't having that either. They weren't buying that line. And over the next 5 months, the COVID-19 pandemic, so-called global challenges, supply chains, and of course, Vladimir Putin, and then Senate Republicans, everybody took a turn in the blame game seat for President Biden and the White House. It was everybody's fault but theirs. Isn't that absolutely amazing? Just amazing. The people in control of everything, the House, the Senate, the executive branch, the White House, controlling it all. They had nothing to do with this, they want you to believe. Well, yes, indeed, they had everything to do with it. So last month, the Democrats had exhausted this rotation of villains, as they like to call it. Well, they panicked and they decided once again that they had to just go out here and convince the American people that yes, indeed, inflation was transitory. It was going to be short-lived. It was only 8.5%, they would say, only. But go fill up the car, go to the grocery store. You know they're wrong. Well, unfortunately for Joe Biden, the American people are much smarter and more in tune with day-to-day life than the left has given them credit for. This administration is now in damage control mode. Last week, Secretary Yellen threw up her hands and admitted that the political narrative on inflation that she enabled put us on the road to economic collapse. On the same day, President Biden published an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal blaming Trump and Putin for his problems before touting the same radical policies the American people have already rejected. What we're seeing now is more than just the consequences of a failed political maneuver. It is the collapse of an economic philosophy the Democrats insisted was far superior to anything their political opponents would ever come up with. And the Democrats' response to this is what exactly? To say, well, they're sorry. Then they just double down. They just keep on going. Not exactly a plot twist for this administration. They intend